Hey, welcome to Straight Conversation. We doing Wait What again? Dre and Jesse back on for another week. Hey, even though it's a holiday weekend, we still getting it in. I'm cooking too, so I was kind of slow getting behind time. I got the spaghetti, the dressing, the greens,
Nice.
everything going. So pardon me a little bit, but how your week going, Andre?
My week is actually going pretty good. I got some cooking to do here in a bit. I forgot to turn my stream on. How about that? Um, I will be. I got some prepping to do. We gotta go get some yams and stuff like that still, because apparently, nobody in the family decided to bring yams. And what's Thanksgiving without the yams?
Hey, I feel you. I feel you. I have never cooked yams on my own. My mom's cooked yams a lot. That's one thing I never picked up, but I do like yams. So,
Mm,
uh, but
right?
man, there's gonna be a lot of food cooking. Maybe tomorrow I'll do a 5 minute show on what people cooking.
We did
uh,
that today.
uh,
We did an exchange of recipe thing.
Man, it looked like you switched up shirts this time. You using University of who?
Minnesota, baby.
Minnesota. Oh, okay. Oh, we play y'all this weekend. Well, we beat y'all this weekend. Bucky
Who's
Badger.
we? No, you're not gonna beat us.
The Badgers?
You think
Come
you're
on,
gonna
man.
win this? You think you're gonna win Saturday?
Really? Of course. Ah,
Dog, we're gonna
man.
spank you. Are you kidding
Come
me?
on, man.
You
Hey,
know
did you
that's
know
gonna happen.
Minnesota and Wisconsin is the longest running rivalry in college football?
Yes.
They play more times than anybody else, I believe, in college football. Those two teams, and I'm sure we got the best of y'all 90% of the time. Anyway,
No,
uh, man,
no.
so not much going on this week except the Aubrey or the McMichaels trial, the Bryant trial. That kind of was very, very interesting. You know what? My thoughts on this trial was it's so uh, it's bad that people put the Rittenhouse and the Aubrey trial in the same category because they're really not. You know, Rittenhouse, I can go either way. Rittenhouse was so political that it goes back and forth. Like it's so political that it's two sides. Half the country
Right.
believe one thing, half the country believe the other. But when it came to Aubrey, I haven't met one person that actually believed, that actually said, like, you know what? I think he's innocent. I think the McDaniels are
Nobody
innocent.
did. Right.
I have never, and I'm sure they had supporters in their hometown that, like the prosecutor and police chief or whatever. But I mean, literally, I have never seen it on social media. I have never heard a pundit say it. I have never heard anything. That's what separated. But you talk about the trial of the century and things like that. In my opinion, this was maybe the most important trial for the next generation because it decides how America is going to see cases like this. You
Right.
know, like this was a very like the Rittenhouse, like I say, was so political, but Aubrey, like because we made so much about race when it comes to like when we was talking about the jurors and we talking about like, man, are they going to convict in Georgia? You know,
Right.
and uh, it it and even the jurors, even the white jurors, knew like this was just messed up. Like no matter how you look at it, it didn't take them that long to come. Like this was just
No.
like enough is enough,
They was
and
like, "You're on camera. We saw you. You taped it." Like,
and what's funny is they wouldn't even have the tape. He was so convinced that he was right that he took the tape to the cops, and they're like,
right.
"You can't even make that up.
Nope. The
They
jurors were
can't.
like, "Nah, man."
You can't
But
even
once
make that
again,
up."
it shows like there's been a pendulum shift, right? It's slowly been shifting, right? Like all things take time. Like we're just very impatient as people, and then I understand that we want all the change now, but um, the pendulum is shifting because what people don't realize that the media didn't put out there was that while Wittenhouse was found not guilty, there was another sheriff who was found guilty, or another officer was found guilty for killing the black man. Same day, but it wasn't news. It didn't make the media because it's not one of those things.
I mean, let's be fair. There's a difference between police killing people and citizens killing people. I
I
mean,
get
I know
it,
we want to
but
lump them
the
all
pendulum
together.
is shifting all around.
It is
That's what I'm
because
saying. The pendulum is shifting.
it
It's
is.
like,
It is because more and more cops are being fired. More and more cops are being,
yep,
let go and held accountable. And this is we talk about justice. It's more about accountability because we know we're gonna have a crime. Like nobody's saying that police are never gonna kill anybody. We know they are. We nobody's saying that you know, uh, innocent people are not going to die by the hands of criminals. We know they are. It's all about holding everybody accountable, and that's
right,
that's what it really comes down to. Is that certain segments of our population was never held accountable, and now we starting to see a shift. And like I say, we can't really judge by the Rittenhouse case because it was 50-50 if you go around the country. Some people didn't even consider the Rittenhouse case. They considered it like a self-defense case. And self-defense was on trial. And it all depends. It all came down to ideology when it came to the Rittenhouse. Plain and simple. Very few people got away from their ideology of politics and what side of the fence they were on to make a honest assessment on either side of the Rittenhouse case. You
fair.
know, but but the Aubrey, the Mc the McMichaels, is it the McMichaels or McDaniels? The McMichaels, that was just straight murder. I mean, like
Yes,
it was like when people seen the George Floyd murder. Like no
right.
matter how you feel about police officers, no matter
I know what murder
what
looks like,
Chauvin
and that
said,
was
it
it.
was nothing you could say. Yeah, it was like yes, the old saying like I don't know what it is, but I know what it looks like.
I
I know
can't
it when I see
describe
it.
it, but I know it when I see it. Yep,
And
that's what
like
it
no
was.
matter, very few people or very few will say it in public, but very few people was like, you know what, Chauvin did what he was supposed to do. I mean, like when you see the video, you're like,
Holy shit, he's nuts.
I mean, again, even the police chief came out and was like, man, like he even
Yo, what
testified.
happened to our scroll? By the way, sorry.
Oh, our comments.
Yeah, our scroll's gone. Like, there's what happened to the scroll? There's supposed to be a phone number.
Oh yeah, I
What
didn't even
the?
put
I'm
all
like,
that
wait
in,
a
man.
second. I told people staring at this. I'm like, you guys can call. They're like, oh, we can call in. Now they're like,
Yes,
man,
yes.
they were
There we
probably
go.
all
There
went
we
back to
go.
their own thing, and now they're just hanging out. They don't care no more. They're like, man, y'all
That's
just
all
suck at
right.
this.
That's all right. It's the holidays, so I'm a
Right?
little off. I'm a little running around like a chicken with my head cut off. But man, I mean, like you are right. The pendulum is switching, and it's good. And change is slow. Change is slow,
Yes.
but at least Mallory says she's listening. So hey, shout out to Mallory. Thanks for listening on
Yay,
this
yay.
holiday Wednesday. Listening to probably
Matters like,
turned in
I'm
tuned
listening
in
because,
to laugh at
right.
Andre.
She's at work like
but
this idiot. I can't believe this idiot's on for YouTube. I gotta
but
listen to this one.
but we have to be like change is slow, but it's been very very slow for a long time.
Yeah, but think
And
about it. We think how long slavery literally took to be ended once like 90% of the nation was actually against it. Think about how long it took for it to really go away. Think about how long Jim Crow ran where everybody was against it. Think about how long it really, really took for it to go away. Right? Like Jim Crow ended in like 1972, give or take, right? Like officially. And it was up till 90 where folks were still feeling a certain way on site automatically. You know what I mean? Stuff
wait,
just
wait, wait,
takes
wait,
a
wait. No, no,
long
no. It's
time.
still happening today. What do you mean
But not
until
as
90?
bad. I'm saying like they still was stuff was still like black colored only and coloreds only and stuff like that to like the 90s. So
Okay.
right.
But this
So
this is the problem, right? Well, change is slow until we got instant cameras, social media, and things of that nature, which kind of speeding up change, I hope. But those things kind of put a spotlight on things that people been complaining about for ages. And it's not just about like when it comes to race, but when it comes to like sexual orientation and anything any protected class. I mean, now, it's one thing to be like, hey, uh, racism exists, and people who never actually had the experience or see it is like, dude, I don't know what you're talking about. I never seen it. And
Right.
then you show it to them on camera, and they're like, wow, that
What the
actually happened.
right?
Like that actually, like that's somebody said that or somebody did that, or
Exactly.
it's just a lot different when you actually get a chance to see it. Like being in your face is so different. I mean, it's so
Yes.
different when you have to look at it. That's what made MLK so powerful, is that he knew the images on the media would just shock everyday Americans who did not know or understand or believe what was happening to people that was just being peaceful.
Right.
Seeing water hoses turned on kids has a traumatic effect on you, no matter who you are.
Yep.
I mean, unless you're the one doing it, But I mean, the general public sitting back at home, it's a huge impact psychologically. Seeing dogs sick on people is huge. Seeing bombs like going off in churches, or people like
Huge.
seeing you know seeing
Walking
Chauvin
into a
kneel
church
on
and killing
George
people.
Floyd
Yeah.
neck for 9 minutes. These things have a mental impact that shocks the
And
sight. The sight.
it's a way of making people, even those who were like, even like the so-called not racist white people, the ones who were just like, oh, how about you just stop talking about it? The world's not that bad. Even they're finally going like, geez, enough is enough. Like, you know what I mean? Like they're tired of seeing it. Like, uh, they're like, look, this is clearly these people are right. Clearly, there's issues and there's problems. I think Americans are starting to come around because it's been so in their face now, um, that they can't ignore it anymore.
And that's and but I mean, and also the fact that you never have to see it.
Right.
I
You
mean,
ain't never
it's
gotta see
easy.
it.
It's easy if you live in, like, say, rural America, like versus an urban area where you just don't have to see it.
Yes.
Out of sight, out of mind. And a lot of people, like, I know it was a debate on like whether America was a racist country or not, or whether the people was racist. And I think Clyburn was saying that America is not a racist country. We have racist systems, but most people are generally probably good people.
Ah,
Most people are racist. I think most people have implicit biases that they don't know about.
implicit bias. Yes.
The biggest issue that we face more so than, because people are like, they would generally tell you like, I'm not racist, I'm not sexist, but they may believe a certain way. Like they may believe like all Asians are smart, not because they think it's something bad about Asians, but I mean that's just TV, what they was growing up, and but they don't know all the pressures that type of stereotype put on Asian Asian Americans, because
That's a lot of pressure to be smart.
all the huh
It's a lot of pressure. You think?
was like the perfect minority theory, that if you believe that all Asians are smart, or if people believe that all Asians are smart or
Yes.
geniuses, and if you're not, if you're one of the Asians that's not, you're gonna feel like a failure, or you're doing something wrong, or low self-esteem, depression. There's a lot of pressures that come in with everybody believing you have to be smart, like,
Yes.
or more smart than everybody else. Like, and that's that. Yes, that puts a lot of pressure on Asian Americans, because if they, you get a D or F, everybody looking at you like you're a failure. Like what happened to
Timothy.
you? What happened to you? You
Right.
know, Shout out to Timothy. And that does put a lot of pressure on people. It's like so implicit biases is very dangerous.
Yeah, it is.
Because it's like, and like we seen that in the McMichaels, right? A black guy running through the neighborhood gotta be running from, like, he gotta be doing
He's got
something
to be doing
wrong.
something. What's he running
And
for? He's got to
they'll
be
be the
doing
first
something.
ones to say they're not racist. Like, we're not racist. They probably got black friends.
Mhm.
Like,
But he's up to something.
but they see him running, they're like, dude, no black person is running through this community
Why are you running here?
just because they're jogging.
Right.
And Travis said it, he said that people used to go into that apartment all the time. You know, they had multiple thieves. But funny, on the camera they show other people stopping into that
Right.
to the place that was being built, and they didn't feel the need to chase down anybody else or corner
Just the
anybody
black
else.
guy that
Right,
he
because
ain't
he was
supposed to be
running.
there. That's
And
suspicious.
and, that,
They killed
and
him.
but I'll say this. I know there was a lot of made about like lawyer ethics.
Woo, let's have
Who
fun with this one.
since when did lawyers have ethics? I mean, like we see
Right?
lawyers go into court. My coach once told me three worst people in the world: preacher, undertaker, and a lawyer. They all take advantage of vulnerable people, and they would do it extreme. You know, and that's pretty like so. Now all of a sudden, we expect a lawyer. Like defense lawyers represent murderers. They represent mafia gang members. They represent people like they represent pharmaceutical companies who distribute opioid. Now all of a sudden they gotta have morals. Like what? Like so people are like shocked to their core that uh, that this defense lawyer would make a comment on his toenails and his legs, which to me shocked me to my core that people are shocked to their core. You know, like like it's a defense lawyer. They
What
would
did you
say
think they're gonna
any
say?
like what? I mean, I would hate to like be under some type of trial and the lawyer like, dude, I could cross that line, but I'm I'm gonna play within the rules. Like, dude, my I'm facing life in jail. If you like whatever it takes, you need to be doing. That's what I'm paying you for. And I think that's that like it
Well,
just it
they have
shocks me
ethics,
that
man.
people are so surprised.
All that lawyer did was just use whatever was available to be used to sway the jury one way or another. The lawyer didn't make anything up. Yes, the lawyer did some, a little bit of the lawyer did the what do you call it? The lawyer did the runaway slave thing. I'm all in. I get it. Um, and the lawyer was hoping because the videotape absolutely showed that the man had shoes on. It's it the lawyer was hoping that by saying long dirty toenails that they would think of a dirty guy with dirty feet who's just a little dirty black guy, right? But um, because you have to try to you have to paint your client or make the victim or whatever in the worst way. Uh, I happen to be cool with an attorney who is a defense attorney. Shout out Miss Coleman there. She's with Charles Nation. I don't think she would go to that extreme, but she would if there's any chink in the armor, anything she can use to get her client off, she's using it because it's what you're paid to do. I mean, that's the lawyer's job. So I don't feel a certain way about the lawyer.
Well, ethics went out the way, right? When they got rid of all the black jurors, right? I mean,
Right. Well, that's
like,
ethical too, though. That's the thing. That's ethical. Like
right, right. But what I mean
it's
is,
not like the
like, if we're
prosecution
gonna
was
talk
like,
about racism, even the judge at the beginning of the trial was like, "Man, it's feeling a little
this is
about
a little,
race," you
this
know.
isn't
So
right, right?
anything that come after that is fair
Right.
game, right?
The judge was
All
like, this is crystal clear that you guys are trying to do this.
yeah.
but
So right there, you throw out all the race, like everything's
right,
coming now. You know the kitchen sink is coming.
right. But even the prosecution was like, I'm not gonna fight it, go for it. We have you on tape. That's what the prosecutor was like. Go ahead, pick any 12 people you want. When the prosecution opened this case, it said, this is the tape. I rest my case. Like
Yeah, I mean,
that's what
no,
happened. And they're
you know
like,
what? You know what? What? I mean, the fact that they decided to put Travis on a, I'm still
mm,
baffled. Like if so, they must have knew they were losing completely. So they're like, dude, one of you guys have to talk. If he was the best one out of the three,
mm-hmm.
I can't even imagine how the other two would have did.
Somebody
Like,
had to say something, and Travis got up there
well, he was the
just so
best out of the three, probably,
right,
right?
and the
And
defense was sitting up there like, oh my god, and the prosecution was like this.
and it was well. What was funny is that I was listening to people talk about the defense on the first day. They was like, "Well, she did, she did okay. She didn't really attack. She didn't really hammer him and going back and forth." But what I think happened is that she was so shocked that, that he took the stand, that
Right.
she wasn't expecting it, because the next day she creamed him, and like
Right.
she probably was so happy and so shocked, like, is this real? Like,
Oh, the
like
first day
I
when she
mean,
was up, when he was on the stand.
when Travis came to the stand, I mean, she
Yeah.
probably couldn't even
Oh, in the beginning,
believe
she was
that he
just like,
like,
she probably
yeah,
looked at the fence
because
like,
she
"Are
kind of
you
was like
sure?"
bouncing things around, and the next
Right.
day she came back. But I
She
mean,
lit him up. Woo.
like it, man, it was like a lawyer's textbook to how to
Right.
cross examine. I mean, he agreed with everything she said.
Right. Wait a second. I'm sure she had a whole list of questions. Like these would be the perfect questions to ask him, but he's not getting on the stand, right? So when she was packing the briefcase up, she looked at that notebook and she was like, "Yeah, he ain't getting on the stand." Like, right? And so she kept stuff and stuff in, right? And she put it away. She looked at the notebook one more time. She was like, her bag was obviously stuffed. She looked, nah, I ain't got room for that. And next thing you know, he's on the stand and she's like, and I don't have my notebook. Oh, he's mine tomorrow. But like, um,
His lawyer should have told him, like, dude, if I raise my hand, just start pleading the fifth. Because I mean,
right.
it was like,
It was
I
bad.
mean, it was one of the worst self
But
tail. What they say,
right.
self snitching.
He
he,
man,
he
he did not snitch on the
he
low.
was worse than the rappers, wasn't he, with the self
Man,
snitch?
he went on there and he didn't even snitch. He told the tale. He
He was
sat
like, "Nah,
down
he didn't
and he
threaten
said,
me. Nah,
"So
I
this is
wasn't
what happened."
threatened. Nah, he didn't have a weapon. Nah, yeah, he was like, she was like, and he was running from you, right? He was like, yeah, I
Yep.
let him run past me. I mean, it was like,
So was there really any point where you felt you were really in danger? Well, no, not really. I had a gun.
I mean, I, I, you know what? Like I say, man, this case shows that the winds are changing, and as Mallory said, wrong is wrong, and it's sad that it takes so long to change. But we all humans, and we know that humans just don't like change, no matter what it is. It could be, even if you're doing
Humans are not
something
a fan of
bad
change at
for
all.
you, you know, even if you're doing something bad and horrible. I mean, I got diabetes, and I know I shouldn't be picking up sweet tarts, but I still go grab a box of sweet tarts, and it's just change is just not easy for anyone,
No,
especially when we all live in our own bubble. You know, you know,
the bubble
my
can be a
world and my
pain.
bubble is so different than your world and your bubble. It's so different, and Travis bubble and Aubrey bubble, and you live. I mean, it's amazing that we as Americans, like we talk about like two or three different Americas. It's like 1,000 different Americas depending on where you live. There's so many
Right.
different, and I would say 90% of them are probably unfair, but there's so many different Americas that
Right. Yeah.
it just depends. Like, you're gonna think different. If you're a black person, you grew up in a hood in Chicago, you're gonna think different than a black person that grew up in a hood in Memphis or
Huh.
Jacksonville or
Exactly.
Texas. Because I talk to people where they're like that from Texas, black people from Texas. They love Texas, and I'm like, what, really? It's
So
like people who
I
love
talk to
Mississippi.
tons of black folks from Texas. Yeah,
They love
I talk
Texas,
with
and I'm like,
tons.
I won't go back there. Like I moved there for 1 year, and coming from the north, I was just like,
But
whoa.
Jesse, you went
And
from
the same for
Chicago to,
Mississippi.
but you went from right, but you went from Chicago to Texas, which has got to be a huge culture shock
Culture
because
shock.
all
It
black folks
was.
ain't the same. Um,
But going from
but
Chicago to
then you went
Madison
from
was a
there
huge
back up
culture
to
shock.
Madison, right? And
Huh?
now you live in like the second most racist state in the union, right?
The
That's the only
first.
one that's more racist than you is
The
Minnesota.
first.
No,
Well, I think
Minnesota got you beat.
I don't
Minnesota's
know,
got you beat.
we're pretty close. We got the
Oh
most
yeah, one
racist
and two,
county.
one A and one B is
We
what
got
we
the most
are.
racist county in Dane County, and one of the most racist cities. So you might have the most racist state, but we do have the
Seems like we
city and
got the
county.
most racist
And
county, but
huh?
that's because y'all got Milwaukee, like a
No,
little.
no,
That's
it's
oh, so
Madison
you meant
actually.
Madison. Well,
Madison is the worst.
well, consider Madison.
But you know what? And Madison, and I've been living here for like 25 years and 26 years, and I love Madison. Like, I absolutely love Madison, but I also know it's a tough place. It's a tough place if you're not doing what you're supposed to do. It's a tough place if you're,
But isn't it tough
like if you
anywhere where
don't
you're not
have the
doing what you're supposed to do?
resources, huh?
Isn't it tough? Isn't anywhere you go tough if you're not doing what you're supposed to do?
Yeah, yeah. But
Like,
like
I
if you
mean,
don't
let's
have
be
the
honest.
resources here, but if you don't have the resources here, you're
Whew.
you're gonna be in trouble. It's a college town. That might have an impact, but what's crazy is that it's one of the most progressive places in the world, which is sort of like a huge
It's the
oxymoron, if
people
you
in
will.
charge, right? It's
Well,
a progressive town, so the populace, the peasants, as it were are very progressive. However, the king is not so
no,
much.
no. Well, the people that run the state, the city, and the county are super progressive. The state, not so much. But we get a lot of shielding from the state by living in Madison. But I mean, is just very very weird. I mean, like one of the things they did is like they cut down like one of the problems we have is that black kids get suspended like I don't know 5 times more than white kids. So they
It
just
happens
pretty much
everywhere.
just
Yep.
stopped suspending black kids, which caused other
That-
problems because kids were like
right.
bringing drugs to school, guns, and it was like hard for them to like suspend kids. And it's like, I mean,
They
it's
overcorrect entirely too much. White guilt makes them do entirely too much. Just you know what? Here's the thing.
sometimes.
No, my thing about white guilt is, you know what? Don't treat us black people so much differently. Just treat us like you treat everybody else. Like, and seriously, maybe still treat us bad, but then treat your own bad white kids the same way. Like, don't not
And,
put
and
people
that's
in
what I was,
jail. Just do
that's
it
what I was
equally.
thinking. That's because now the schools have all types of other
It's
problems and
horrible.
police. They
No,
took the
no,
resource officers out of the
right.
schools
Still kick
because
them
they
the fuck
said
out, but kick everybody out.
they kicked the
Like,
resource officers out of school. Now they thinking about bringing them back because now it's so much. It's like,
huh,
dude, you don't have to suspend black kids less. Just suspend white kids equally for the
more.
same things that they do.
Exactly.
Right. I don't want to say
Right.
more because it sounds
Right.
bad, but for the
No,
same
suspend no
thing,
more. Right.
because
Make it
it's like
fair.
someone used this example like if a black girl bring a knife to school, she was getting suspended for bringing a weapon to school. If a white kid brought a weapon to school, she didn't get suspended because she accidentally, packed her lunch. I mean,
Right.
when she was packing her lunch, she put the knife in the bag. Like serious. That's how it is. And that's why it's so unequal because people do the same types of stuff, but it's just
Yes.
looked at different. Implicit bias, of course, when we were talking about that.
Yep.
But uh, I think Travis, like with the Big Michaels, like they tried to normalize implicit bias during a
Okay.
trial, and it just didn't. It just people were just like, I mean, it was just nothing they could. It was so egregious
It
that
was
it
so
it,
bad.
it shocked it shocked the mind. Like, dude, you guys literally truck or 3 pickup trucks. Was it 3 or
Yes.
2? And
Two
you
pickup
told
trucks and they chased
for
him
five
down.
minutes while
Right.
he's running from him,
And that
and
pissed him
the,
off more. That's why they killed him, because he made them chase him.
to have the audacity to think somebody has to stop and talk to you. I
Right.
mean, what type
And
like
and then because he ran, that automatically in their eyes, consider this. He didn't know who they were, and this truck pulls up on you like this.
two
So of course you're
trucks?
gonna run. Two trucks pull up. So of course you're gonna
Okay,
run.
wait.
And then that
First,
makes you guilty.
Let's put it in perspective. If you're a black guy and two
Right.
pickup
Two
trucks
trucks.
pull up on you,
You dip
you
out.
you're running.
You're
You're running.
gone.
I don't care where
You
you
got
at, what city or what town you're in.
man, you are
Two
out.
pickup trucks pull up on you, you gone.
You're gone.
I don't
No
care who,
questions
like,
asked.
or you're getting prepared to fight. You're getting
Right.
prepared to fight, or you're
Something's
like,
happening.
yeah.
But
I
what you're
mean,
not
like
gonna do is just
literally,
hang out.
we've been taught that since we were little. Like
Yep.
that, we were, and that's our implicit bias, right?
Right.
to, hey, pickup truck
Pew!
roll up on you,
Pickup
it's
truck, roll up,
problems.
dip. That's it.
Yeah.
Go.
So,
Don't stop and
so
ask
the
questions. Don't be
fact,
high
the
fiving.
fact that they felt so entitled that a person has to talk to them,
Right.
like it just amazes me. And the
Wasn't
crazy
one a
thing is
retired police officer?
the father.
The father was a retired cop. So
That's why
maybe
he
the
got
father
off with
just
all this. That's why
Yeah,
the
that's what.
prosecutor and all of them kind of gave him a pass. So they said they told him to go clean up,
Right.
and if dude didn't bring the tape, where
If he
would we
didn't bring
be?
the tape, nobody would have ever known.
I
They
still don't know
brought
what he was thinking,
the
but
tape.
it shows the entitlement and to how right
But do you think they
they
watched the tape?
who.
Before they turned the tape in, do you think they went home and sat and watched it? Do you think they just turned the tape in?
No, I think they watched it. I think
And
they
you think
definitely.
so? You think they turned the tape in, and then went and turned themselves in, and then turned the tape in?
No, no, no. I think what I think is that they knew what was on the tape because they did it. They
Right, but I
knew,
don't think
but
they watched the tape.
they felt. It, I think they watched it. I think they felt so justified in what they did that they're
The
like,
tape clearly
yes, we
shows
were
their
one
lie.
hundred.
So then why they lied to the police?
Remember, they lied to the police initially, right?
And then they gave them
But
the tape and they had to tell the
but they
truth.
didn't. But they didn't really have to lie to the police because the prosecutor was friends and the police were the friends, so they didn't want to investigate it at all. They didn't even care. The thing is, the Georgia. I think somebody else pulled out a tape, right? And then the Georgia Bureau of Investigation got involved.
No, they turned the tape in.
Right, but I mean, they turned
They
it
turned
in.
over the tape. They turned over because they recorded it. So what I'm saying,
Right,
Jesse, is it's weird, very weird because your brain's like this didn't happen. But here's this. This is how it happened. They killed the man on tape.
right,
They reported the man being killed. They just didn't report the
exactly.
tape. And then they
Right,
needed to
right, right.
justify. They needed to support what they did to hey, we need to actually see some stuff because I'm sure as I said we recorded it all. We have it all on tape. We can show everything. We can prove it. They did not watch the tape.
No, no. I think they watched the tape.
Not
I
before they
think they
told the
felt
police the tape existed, because they would have never said the crap
no.
that they. Because I think in their heads they thought it happened the way it happened, the way that they said it. Although the tape shows something different. It's kind of like four people can watch
No, you're
something
not
and
gonna
everybody has
turn
a
over the
different
tape
story.
without watching it. Let's be real. I
No, they
believe they
did.
watched the tape, but they felt
Now
so
you're giving these
convicted.
idiots more credit than they deserve. You just
Yeah,
can't
you are
accept the
because
fact
I
that
think they
somebody's
felt
that
so
stupid.
justified. But look at Travis on the stand. They felt so justified in what they did that they didn't think they did anything wrong. They still probably don't believe they did anything wrong. So the tape to that in their mind shows we were defending ourselves against this hostile black guy that got
The hostile
mad
guy who
because
was running from them the whole entire
who we were
time.
smoking. He got mad at us. But remember, we just seen this. Well, the Trayvon Martin was the exact replica of the same thing. Zimmerman is stalking this kid
Right.
and talking to the police, and the police are like, "Stop following him, back off." He ended up getting into a fight with him,
He
killed
picked a fight.
Trayvon, and got off and said, "Like, yes,
But
we
you
got
know
into a
why
fight."
you know what witnesses said. You remember what the witnesses said about the whole George shooting Trayvon, right? When he shot Trayvon, Trayvon was in the process of whooping his ass.
Right, but
Yes,
but
he
but I
picked
mean,
the fight,
what I'm
but
saying is George Zimmerman was found not guilty.
Zimmerman
Like
was found not guilty.
this
Yeah,
this is the exact same case. They followed and stalked him, thought he was doing something wrong. They were
right.
wrong, but they
They were
did, and then
wrong.
they ended up killing him. It's the exact same thing. When Aubrey decided to fight back because he was cornered,
Right, and
this
they
is the
killed him.
exact
Yeah,
100%
I
justified.
get
They
it.
feel that they did, like Zimmerman felt he did the right thing. They still probably feel like we were right. He attacked us. Like,
Right,
dude,
and
you
the
cornered him.
only one who had stand your ground with anything was Arbery. The other three didn't. Those three guys did not have stand your ground anything.
Yeah,
Arbery was
right.
literally the only one who had stand your ground.
But in their head, they believe that they were right. That's
Yes.
the crazy part. They believe that, like, I mean, to this day, you can't tell them probably like, dude, you were wrong because they like all we did was self defense. I mean, they it's crazy. Like like people, like it's interesting how the human brain thinks so different depending on the person. I mean, they really believe they did something right,
Yes, they do.
and it's gonna be. I mean, just the fact that Travis got on the stage, it was like, yeah, he didn't do anything. I mean, literally, he felt so justified.
Right?
But also, who else felt justified in believing what they was selling is the
Who's
lawyers,
that?
because any
Yeah.
credible lawyer would have been like, dude, you are not saying that to anybody. Like, don't ever repeat that again. And the lawyer would have never, like, the lawyer obviously believed it was self defense because there's no way you put him on a stand.
No, I think the lawyer. I think that they. I think they knew they needed to put somebody on the stand, and Travis was probably the least. How do I say this right?
Dumpster fire.
Of the racist, of the three racists, he was probably the least racist of the racists. And as the son,
Like,
and that's what.
he's the one who actually did the killing.
Yeah, but he's the one that got raised by the racist and then was helped out by another racist. He was the youngest of the bunch, so it's
I think
almost
I
fair
think
to
I think Brian was probably the least culpable of
the third guy who joined in the pursuit.
the one that recorded it.
He just joined in, right? Like my. So here's the thing: Son
Van
and Pops
Thomas.
was fine, but then good old Johnny Bill Bob with the tape, with the VCR, with the phone comes. He's recording everything. I'm gonna drive. I'm gonna catch this. We gonna get this some bitch right here. I tell you what, we gonna do. We got woo. We got a live run, boy, run. That's what's going on. And then all of a sudden,
But to be fair, he had a coming to Jesus moment though, right? Because on Friday he was
big
like,
time.
all right. He was like, all right, let's just make a deal. The prosecutor was so confident, and Aubrey's mother was so confident that they were getting the conviction. They're
No
like,
deal.
no deal. Because how often do they say no deal?
It was on tape. They were like, no.
I was worried that they might regret not taking a deal, especially when he first got like what they name off, like the first 3 or 4 that he wasn't culpable for, like not guilty. I'm like, no. And then all of a sudden, once that first guilty came in, and you know what? To be truthful, I get a jury a lot of credit because you
They
could
only
tell
need to be
they
guilty
didn't.
of one thing.
But you could tell the jury really sat there and thought about it and talked it through because methodically each person was found guilty for what they did. They didn't just have
Yeah.
like, all right, guilty, guilty, guilty. Like, okay, you're not guilty for this, you're not guilty for that, but you're guilty for that. I mean, like,
Right.
I was surprised that they had like 5 felony murders or like that's a lot of like I was like I would never really understand the American justice system,
Not only are
but
you
whatever
guilty,
it was good.
you're
I'm gonna
guilty of
remember where I
felony murder.
was.
One, you're guilty of federal murder. 1, 2, 5, 6, 7, and 12.
Yeah.
What? Yep, just
So
those. But what about the ones in between? Nope. You're okay. You're okay on those. But no,
and
they
what's crazy is I was looking at because I was watching it and looking at it like looking at their reaction, it was just like no emotion. And you probably got to be stoic and tough, but imagine like going to court and then they just tell you like you're done. Like hopefully you
well, they
sold
didn't
your
get out.
house. Hopefully you, huh?
Well, they didn't get out, so
Right. What I mean, like you go to court, you drive to court, and you're like, hey babe, you got to take my car back home. Put it in a warrant ad. I mean, like literally, your life as you know it is gone. And if you didn't think that you were going to be convicted and you didn't start handling business and all of that, like literally, you know, you're going to be mortgaging and selling stuff from behind bars. I mean, like life as you know it when you walked in today is pretty much done because there's really nothing to appeal in this court. Like in this case, there's really no grounds. You like the prosecutor didn't give you anything to appeal on. The only thing is Jesse Jackson came. That's the only thing you got. And there was a lot of black preachers around. Like literally, the prosecutor
Your
didn't
Honor,
do
we'd
it.
like to file here this appeal under statute 44579.AE. As you can see here, it says clearly there are too many negras in the gallery. We cannot have a fair trial with all these negras here. So what we need is more white faces back there so they can make our jury over here feel comfortable. These negras make these white people uncomfortable. These white people had no choice but to see my clients as not guilty. What'd you think they were going to do? They had to be guilty. What'd you think? It would burn down the city if they would have came back not guilty because, they had him on video. I need to know.
Well, I want to give Georgia props though. Let's see.
Georgia.
First they said a black got a Congress. They said a Jewish got a Congress, and
Right.
now they
They put
found
Biden in the White House. They told Trump, screw
yeah.
you.
I mean, literally Georgia. The last. I mean, yeah.
Georgia,
You just
when Georgia changed, when Georgia flipped, America, that was the pendulum shift. Georgia flipped. That was the pendulum shift, and it's not shifting back. Georgia
And
can't go back.
let's remember, Stacey Abrams barely lost being
Barely. He
governor of
cheated.
Georgia.
He cheated like crazy. Like
But
they
she
cheated
barely lost.
badly.
She barely lost in Georgia. They did say Georgia. There's a lot of places
Georgia won the election
that
for Biden, and not Stacey Abrams is not on Biden's cabinet. Neither is what's her face? The mayor. I cannot think of Keisha. Mayor Bottoms is not.
I like.
Right, Mayor Bottoms is not on the cabinet. Doesn't even get a hello or how you doing.
But
Like
we don't. I mean, we
seriously.
don't know if they were offered it and chose not to. I'm not
No,
sure Stacey
neither
Abrams.
one of them would have said because what's her face
I don't
done.
know. I don't know. Stacey Abrams. They talked to
Bottoms
her.
is done, and
Bottoms
Abrams
said she got bigger. She has more ambition.
she
But
lost. She can't run for anything. She lost. She cannot run for any. Well, she probably run for
okay.
president.
Well, but to be fair, Stacey Abrams, when they talked to her about maybe joining like federal, she said she got a lot of work to do in Georgia. She also said that she's really want to focus on getting people out to vote. And I mean, I don't really know. I mean, I don't really know if she was offered anything or not. But I think her goal is to become the governor of Georgia, and she was this close. So for her to stay back home and focus on
But
getting people voting, and as you
right.
can see with the voting laws
Mm.
changes, I mean, they need somebody to stay home and.
Georgia is not playing around. These niggers, they don't need there's enough voting booths. They can walk 50 miles and go vote. Them niggers is out in the streets all day. They can walk and go vote. They ain't doing nothing but sitting around
Well,
anyway.
you already got to wait like 8 hours in line to vote in Georgia
Right? They
if
ain't
you live
got
in an
no
urban
jobs.
area.
They can wait 12 hours. Like
And you know who else better be careful because
who?
Texas is not that far from seeing a blue wave. Not that there'll be Democratic state, but there's a lot of people moving into Texas from a lot of super
California.
blue.
But
California is
the people
invading.
left but the blue people didn't leave Cali. The red people left Cali.
No, people in Cali are blue. They just not like a lot of blue people left. They're just not progressive blue. Like there's a lot of blue people that left for business reasons because look. I mean, I actually watched a documentary on a lot of people that was leaving. There's a lot of
Progressives are
blue
going too
people,
far though.
and a
No,
lot of
they're not going to
Texas
vote.
people are not happy.
If they left because of
But the same
progressives, they're
thing.
not going to vote for progressives.
But the same thing happened with Arizona too. A lot of California people are coming into what was that song? Don't Oregon my California, or don't California my Oregon, or something like that.
Oh God, I have no clue. I don't want. I don't want to know. I want nothing to do with it. I just know that I think progressives. No, we won't get into you and your progression. I will tell you this: in our clubhouse thing and on our clubhouse group, we were debating having a topic about. We were talking about black folks, and one of our guys said black people. He said if you just listed a bunch of political opinions or positions but didn't say a party, most black people would pick all the Republican stuff. And I was like, huh.
Wait. Not most black people. Not most black people. Most black men. Black men are very conservative.
And black women are conservative too because they're married to
no, I don't think so.
Black men.
I think black women are way more progressive.
Do you have sisters?
Yeah.
Like,
and I have daughters too. And they're my daughters are way more progressive than I am.
That's because you are way.
No, that's because I live in Madison, actually. It's because I live in Madison. I mean, Madison,
Fair.
like I say, if you're here, you're going to be super progressive. The thing is that, like, we voted, like, 95% Biden or something. I don't know. We actually vote a lot of third parties, too, with the Green Party is pretty big in Madison. But I think black
I love the Green
women are way more. Look at the voices of the progressive movements.
The squad.
A lot of women of color.
Name the black woman on the squad.
Cori Bush.
All right, name the black woman of substance.
She's from Missouri.
The black woman of substance on the squad. No, I'm kidding.
She slapped at the Capitol, didn't she? Who else would do that? over housing vouchers or the eviction law. I mean, dude, progressives are holding it down. Why do you think AOC is the most hated person in Congress? I mean, they
Because
hate
she's,
her
to be
because she's
fair,
so
she says
powerful.
something. She's
Because
not
she's so
powerful at all.
powerful.
She
She
is not
what?
powerful. She doesn't have
Dude,
power.
she did a fundraiser for Texas and raised like $10 million in like
That's not
a
power.
few
That
days.
just means you're
That's
popular. That's
power.
not
Money
power.
is
That's no,
power.
no.
Okay,
But she doesn't
popular.
have any money.
What?
She doesn't have any money.
Oh my God. Okay, AOC is probably the most relevant.
Once
Her
again,
and
that's not money. You're equating a bunch of different things
what do you
here.
mean? Like you
All right,
saying she can't fundraise?
AOC, no, AOC can fundraise, but that doesn't make her powerful. It just makes her.
Okay,
It
so
just
she
makes
can
she can raise
fundraise.
funds.
If you can fundraise, it makes you powerful. Why do you think Marjorie Taylor Greene got a
They
voice?
all Marjorie Taylor Greene sucks at fundraising. That's why she got all the
No,
help she
she
got.
doesn't. She raised more money than like every Republican in Congress.
She got a
Why
hell
do
of
you
a
think they
push.
put up with her?
She got a hell of a push from freaking Trump. She would have never did that without
No,
him.
she don't. She raises. There's a lot of Marjorie
She was
Taylor
already
Greene
and she was
fans.
filthy rich anyway, but that's why she lost
I'm
her
not talking about
basketball
rich.
team.
I'm talking about raising money. She's probably like the top Republican, top 2 or 3 Republican money fundraiser in the whole Congress.
Yeah,
And I'm
because
gonna
they
have to look
use
that up.
you have to look at what she uses. You have to look at her emails because I just know I was getting the little emails from Trump about paying helping raise money for her campaign and helping raise money for the other jackwad down in Florida. What's his face? Um,
Gates,
no, the mayor,
the mayor. You mean the
Dukakis,
governor,
the
the
governor.
Santos?
Yeah, yeah. And then I got mailers about. And here's what pissed me off, right? Because I told you I
You
did the whole.
you get Republican.
I did
You get
no because
Republican. You get
I did the
Republican
Republican
donation.
convention.
You
No,
get
because
Republican donation.
I did the
You get
Republican
Republican
convention, right?
donation. Thank you letters.
No, I did the Republican convention thing. So I got to do the become a delegate and experience that, which was awesome. And I understand you want to poke fun at me, but in Minnesota, the only way to to
Right,
participate in
right.
that system is to do it through the Republican Party, right?
I understand that.
Otherwise you could just read about it, right? That's just stupid. So, but what happened? You put your email on whatever, and I never signed with anything with Trump, but because Trump became the candidate, he got full access to the whole Republican RNC mailing list, right? And then that dude, he still sends out letters. He's still raising money, like legit. He is
And
still sending
they
out
just
stuff to raise
decided
money.
last week. They decided last week that they're going to pay off his legal, like they're going to give $100,000 to his legal fund to help him. Which is some of the Republicans are pissed, but
Yeah,
they're like this is not shouldn't be the most important thing on our agenda, but it
they owe
is.
him,
Trump
but
is Trump. They don't know Trump. Well,
they owe him. They owe him big,
they owe him
man.
what? That they lost the House, the Senate, and presidential.
Well, all the
All 3.
action. No,
They
well, let's
lost both
see.
branches of government that they controlled.
Well, here's the thing: they didn't actually really lose the House because they didn't have the House, and they really
Well, they
they
lost it to
lost
Trump.
they lost the Senate. No, they lost the Senate by 1 seat, so they didn't actually really lose the Senate per se. It's a tie.
Yeah, but they actually lost the Senate.
But every president loses seats during the midterm. That's every single president,
They
right?
lost all 3
Trump
branches of government.
Trump lost. No,
So what
Trump
do they
lost.
owe
Oh,
him?
yes, but here's the
And
thing.
he lost by
Yes,
like 8 million votes.
Jesse, I fully get you. I fully get you. They won. They lost. Here's my question: what is it of importance that the Democrats are passing since they have all 3? Since the Democrats have full control of all 3 branches, what's being done?
Well,
I'll wait. Nothing. You know why?
they passed the
Because they don't
infrastructure.
have control. They have the House. They don't have
They
control of the
passed the
Senate.
infrastructure bill. Is that
They
important? Is that major
not
legislation?
and at the expense of what? So
No, no,
basically,
no, 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 no. You asked what they did. They passed the infrastructure bill. Is
yeah,
that
but they were
not
going to do that
major?
anyway. It's not like that
Is
was
that
never going to
not
happen.
major?
But no, because they do
So
that
they
shit
have
every
passed
time.
something, right? They
They
have
got to
passed
pass
something, right?
something. Exactly.
They have passed something.
Yeah, yes, they passed the infrastructure bill like that. Wasn't going to happen
That's
in the first place.
huge.
No, it's not. It's what they
Is
do anyway.
the
You act like it's
infrastructure
not what they
bill
do
is
every
over
year.
$1 billion?
Yes,
What are you talking about?
dude, they pass bills like that. Every president stuff passed like that. It's not like it
What?
doesn't
We
happen.
haven't had roads. What did only thing Trump
Obama got money.
passed?
Obama got money for roads and highways and everything else. Yes, he did. You act
This
like
is a major
you want to look
overhaul.
all shocked. No,
This,
it's not. It's no different than what Obama got. The major overhaul would have been the free college. That would have been good. You're the
No,
progressive.
that's a whole
Not
different
one
bill.
progressive thing was done. No, it was all supposed to be in this one bill. It went from $3 trillion to 1.5.
Okay, you're talking about two separate things, dude. So now you're talking about the human infrastructure bill, right?
Everything that was good was taken out. They took out the free college.
Okay,
they took out
not
the
good for you,
stuff.
right? But anyway, okay, you're bouncing back around.
Lost everything. Oh my God!
How did I lose anything?
The progressive, not one progressive.
I can't lose anything I never had, right?
Jesse, not one thing the progressive wanted was in that new bill that they passed, and nothing is going to pass in the next one because the Republicans are going to go no. Because they don't have a supermajority. The Democrats need a supermajority. The Democrats
they just need one.
Lose.
They just need one extra person.
They need a supermajority. They need six.
No. They just need one person.
Jesse, they need 56
to block.
Votes.
Okay, they need one person to change the filibuster rules. That's what they need.
Yeah,
Joe Manchin is the only person is standing in the way. Well, him and
no, because you can't change the filibuster
Arizona
rules.
Senator. Yeah, you can.
No, you can't, because then what happens the next year, Jesse, when you lose the
okay. So you not that you can't. You saying they won't?
Yeah, because they're not stupid. The filibuster keeps everybody honest. Because here's what happens, Jesse.
How? The filibuster favors the minority.
Listen. Right, because without it, the majority
which is
dumb.
They should be able to. They're the majority.
Okay, so Jesse, then when all you have that happens is one group comes in and does whatever it wants to do. The next group comes in and undoes everything that they want to do, and then they do what they want to do. And then the next group comes in and undoes everything that they did, because that's how it will work. The Democrats have full control. The Democrats will have full control until the midterms, when they lose full control. And then the Republicans will have full control. And with full control, they would do whatever the hell they want to do until the midterms. And then the Democrats would take it back and they would have full control. And there would literally be America would be a ping pong ball. And that's not how it's supposed to be, man.
Okay. We are a ping pong ball, for one. And for two, Republicans are not going to win the midterm. I know you said you believe they will.
Every president,
I know. I'm telling you right now, Biden is going to break the mold.
You told me Rittenhouse was good. You said with the same confidence Rittenhouse would be guilty.
No, Rittenhouse. No, Rittenhouse was a toss-up.
You have
Rittenhouse. No, I said I believe he would have been found guilty of a lesser charge, but that's not the same thing.
Rose-colored glasses on, my friend. No, what's going to happen is
I have no rose-colored glasses on.
Is going to lose many. He's going to lose several seats in the Senate.
They're
going to keep the House. He's going to lose the Republicans are absolutely going to lose the Senate for sure.
Do you mean Democrats are going to lose the Senate? No way.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Democrats are going to lose the Senate. Yeah, seriously.
No way.
Yes. Here's why. Because every presidency, the Senate has the most exchanges of seats. Well, so because it's 50-50, the Republicans are, since the Democrats are, just because of how history goes, are going to lose more seats than they win. The Republicans are going to win more seats than they lose. They're going to take over the Senate.
And I think this is the year we change, with social media, with Trump in the background, hovering over people. This is what's going to happen, right?
No.
Republicans should win the most seats. But because Trump is going to be beating out him and his supporters are going to be killing established Republicans and then putting up fringe Republicans to run against the Democrats is going to win by that strategy. Trump is going to be the Democrats. Trump is going to be the Democrats' best weapon. Dude, you think
November
Biden
2022, Trump will be in jail in New York. He will be on Rikers Island.
Do you think Biden would have got the most votes ever if he wasn't running against Trump? Trump bring out so many Democrats. Dude,
I get it, but
the
Jesse,
election was
Trump's
over.
not running again.
Georgia flips.
Trump's
but he
not
still got his
again,
hand.
Jesse.
But he still has his hand in the pot.
It's going to be over with in 2022. You are really, really hoping that Trump stays involved, and they are.
He is involved.
No,
he is.
Not as you are hoping that he stays there, Jesse. You are really stretching.
I don't have to hope. He's still involved. He's still talking about running.
Who? He can run in 2024. I'm talking 2022.
Not the Speaker of the House. I mean, not the not Kevin McCarthy.
In 2022, the Senate runs again. Trump wants to run until 2024. So Trump is not an issue until 2024.
Trump is involving himself in every election.
He tried. No. He tried. He tried to take some credit for this for the ones that just happened, and
The
not
Virginia one.
nobody. But he tried to take credit for Virginia, and even the guy in Virginia was like, "Yeah, no, Trump had nothing to do with this." So I know that
And he didn't want Trump. He didn't want Trump help either.
you want to go with it, and nobody wants Trump's help. That's the thing. They're realizing that they
Nobody.
don't
What are you
want
talking about? Have you not seen our House Republicans?
the Republic. Okay, once again, there's a difference between the House and the Senate. You're confusing the two seats. The two
I'm not confusing them.
The House, nobody gives a damn about the House.
Nobody gives a damn about the House?
No, because there's 1,000 people in the House. The Senate's what matters. Nothing happens without the Senate. The Senate is where the power is.
The Senate can't do anything without the House.
I get it.
And the House can't do anything without the Senate.
Okay, but once again, the House is literally like the Senate's little brother and just or brother or sister and just get smacked around by the Senate. That's what happens with the House.
Where do you come up with this stuff from, man?
I'm watching. I sit and I seriously watch the Senate smack around Max Pelosi. Let's not act like it doesn't happen.
What are you talking about? How does the Senate?
We watch good old Nancy get smacked around.
Oh my God, dude! Nobody smacks around Nancy Pelosi.
This is why nothing
Nancy
gets
Pelosi is the most.
This is why
she's the most dominant. She is the most dominant politician, probably.
Oh my God!
She's the most effective Speaker of the House. She has her troops in line.
Who's the Senate Minority Leader?
Kevin McCarthy. Oh, the Senate Minority Leader.
Yes.
Mitch McConnell.
Okay, Mitch McConnell was the Senate Majority Leader last time, right? And nothing was passed. Nothing was passed. Wait, he didn't lose. Other people lost. But let's remember, nothing was passed because he said, "I'm not letting nothing pass." Right? And once again, while Pelosi sends stuff up, and to the Democrats who have the majority in the House, he says, "What? Nope, nothing's running. I don't care. I know you have 50
passed a huge infrastructure bill that a lot of Republicans didn't want to pass.
Hell, Democrats didn't want that to pass either. So let's not act like that.
Oh my God, dude, you just make up stuff as you go along.
Manchin was the holdup. Do you not remember all the concessions they made?
One Democrat. You saying one Democrat didn't want it? Means
Jesse,
all Democrats.
How many Democrats do you need? How many Democrats do you need to oppose? There was more than just him. He was just a big standout. Bottom line is, Jesse,
who else opposed it? Everybody else voted for it.
It's not. No, they didn't. It's not.
And he didn't. He vote. It was his bill. What are you talking about?
No, there was a ton of stuff. No, the original.
It was his bill.
Jesse,
it was
the original bill
right?
was $3 trillion.
That's not the original. You're talking about two separate bills.
No, it was
not
the
the infrastructure
bill.
Was
$3 trillion, and they took everything out, Jesse. They took.
You're talking about you're talking about two separate bills, dude.
Nope.
The infrastructure bill.
It started as one bill. That's the whole entire thing, Jesse. It literally started as one bill, and they took everything out of it.
They separated it into two bills, right?
Yeah, because one bill wouldn't go. So they took everything good out of the bill, and they sent through the normal stuff that they would have done anyway.
Dude,
this
I think you need
bill
to research
is not
the bill
going
again.
anywhere. This second bill is not going anywhere. You're hoping that it will. You're like, well, after the midterms, when the Democrats win 4 more seats and they have a supermajority, or 6 more seats. When the Democrats win 6 more seats,
they need to win 2 more.
They need 56 seats to have a supermajority.
Who said they need a supermajority? I said they need to get rid of the filibuster. They're willing to get rid of it. They're willing to get rid of it, but Manchin won't budge on it.
Once again, okay, you want to get rid of the filibuster. You're right there. Jesse, getting rid of the filibuster once again is okay. Are you gonna? So when the Republicans get the Senate back, are you gonna want the filibuster back?
No, I don't think there should be a filibuster.
So you'll be fine with Republicans having.
I think the filibuster is the dumbest thing ever.
So
I don't care who's in the majority; they should make the rules.
So when the Republicans take the Senate, they just say, you know what, we're just gonna overturn Roe v. Wade. You're all good.
The Republicans wouldn't do that. A lot of Republicans are not against Roe v. Wade. You think they're happy that this Texas bill went through? This is not a good look for Republicans.
They can't fight it. They sure didn't fight it.
They don't mean they're not
confused. They didn't fight it.
They're actually not talking about it either. They're not promoting it either.
Well, it's a law. Alabama didn't fight it, and neither did Ohio.
Republicans are not promoting that bill. Nobody's like, oh, yeah. They're like, oh, my God.
They don't need to promote what they won. You don't promote what you win.
What? They always promote what they win. Dude, you don't understand. You don't understand. This is an explosive cocktail. Abortion is an explosive cocktail for Republicans because, for one, they know the base and evangelist supports it. But a lot of Republican women do not support banning abortions.
I'm well aware. There's
So
still
why
some Republican women.
why would
Those
they want to ban
The
abortions?
Republican women don't support grabbing by the pussy either, but you see what they did, right?
Hey,
One
what?
even got shot trying to break into the White House. Let's not pretend like Republican women are the smartest things in the gene pool. All right. For some odd
Oh my
reason, you
God.
keep separating shit. You keep finding these ways for the Democrats to come out all nice and pretty for that. No, dog, I'm
Who,
telling you.
who said Democrats are coming out nice and pretty?
You were trying to make it seem like for
Democrats
some odd
got a
reason.
whole ton of issues that they got their own problems. For one, they got horrible messaging, and they getting their ass kicked
That's
all
not even the end of
across
it.
the spectrum on how to deliver them simple messages to their own people. For two,
Joe
the
Biden's
way
gonna
they
be 5,000 years old and thinks he can run again. Are you kidding me?
he'll beat Trump again, or
Trump's
whoever
not
else,
running.
whoever
Whoever
else the
goes,
Republicans put up.
whoever the Republicans put out is gonna beat Joe Biden.
No, never,
Yes. Yeah.
dude. If
Joe
Trump's
Biden literally just read. He just read end of quote.
you
He's
and your
done.
obsession with Joe Biden mental status,
I'm
he
sorry.
passed.
It matters.
He
He's the
will pass
president.
the cognitive test,
He
just
didn't
as
take the
Trump did,
cognitive test. He just there was like
because
breathing
he
in
will
this. Shut
pass
up,
it,
don't speak.
because he's too
There was like
smart to
shut up,
brag
don't
about a
speak.
cognitive test. But this is all right. We're gonna get ready to wrap it up here. But I will say this, right? I will say this: if Trump doesn't run for president,
Right.
50% of his voters are staying home.
Oh yeah. Unless like the governor for Florida, DeSantis, runs for president.
He might not even be reelected in Florida. He
Well, if
got
he
his
runs
own
for
issues.
president, if he runs for president, he will. He doesn't need to be reelected in Florida.
He's not
He
gonna.
won't even
I
be
mean,
running.
even if he runs for president, he's gonna get waxed because
Why?
nationally, most
By
people think
who?
he's a joke. Most people think he's a joke. He won't even carry Florida probably if he ran for president. Majority of Florida people was like, we don't want him to run for president.
Ain't no one gonna smoke him. The only person, Joe Biden has no shot because he's too old. He shouldn't run. Kamala
Oh
Harris
my,
has no choice. She's not winning anything. She's not gonna run.
no.
Um,
Kamala Harris can't beat him,
maybe
but
it'll be
she doesn't
Nancy
have to run.
Pelosi. Maybe good old Nancy will run.
She would
She's
definitely
so
smoke him.
powerful.
I heard a no. I heard a no. Nancy
What
Pelosi
about
is so powerful. Why would she get off her throne to come hang out with the
no?
peasants?
This is her last. She's done anyway. She said so. Why not? She's done at the House. Maybe
Well,
AOC
I mean,
runs, right? Maybe AOC runs in 2024.
no, no. AOC is not ready yet. The
She's
country is not ready.
powerful.
The country is not. That doesn't mean
If she's so
anything.
powerful, the country will bend over and kiss her butt and say, "Welcome, welcome, Your Highness. The throne is yours."
No, that's not how it works. She's powerful among progressive circles, which is a lot of people, but there's no way she could
It's not
get the
enough to have.
fringe.
It's not enough for
There's no way
Bernie to
she could
have
get the
gotten.
middle. There's no way she could get the middle of the road people.
Right. So she's
Or
not that powerful.
Bernie's
Bernie is
powerful,
more
right?
powerful. Bernie's powerful. More or less.
That is,
Bernie is harmless power. He's like power.
I don't think you
He's
understand
balance
what
shifting
power means.
power. Bernie is
Bernie,
balance shifting power.
Bernie pretty much wrote the Democratic agenda. So to say Bernie's not powerful
Except
is
Bernie didn't win
ridiculous.
the nomination, so he.
That doesn't
I
mean
understand
anything, dude. That's what you hang your head on. That doesn't mean anything. Like that's like saying a
So
team
winning
is
the
great all
nomination
year
doesn't
because they
matter.
don't win a championship, they're not good. That doesn't mean anything if the final result is always
Don't
did
let
you win
perfect be the enemy
president?
of good.
Yes. Like like when the
Okay.
Patriots went 17-0 and then they lost to the
Yes.
Super Bowl. Do that mean they wasn't a great team? No, they was great. They just didn't win it all. Doesn't take away them being great. Bernie
No,
has a lot of power, a lot of
so
influence. He's on TV as
so
much as anybody because people know when he speaks, people listen. And you have never seen outside of Trump, and Bernie did it at the same time, a person step on a stage with populism that people just absolutely loved and adored.
Obama's first
Trump has the
election was
same.
Obama's first election was a populist election. It was pure populism. It was a rock concert. He damn sure didn't win in his positions because he
No,
had
he was
them.
just better. He was just better than his opponents.
He was popular as hell. It was a rock convention. It was seriously a rock convention. He won
No,
basically.
he
We
was
can
a
be honest about it, dude. He won simply because it was a popular. It was like American Idol, like but for the
no,
president of the United
no.
States.
I
It was
don't
a
think so. I think
popularity
I think
contest.
I think Obama sold his message to people, and people bought into his message. And he had a great balance of central, being in the middle, and being just enough social, light to appease, to motivate people to come out and vote. Bernie could not move the middle. That's what the problem is. He could not move the middle at all. He had the super left. I mean, the
He
super left locked down.
refused to acknowledge the middle existed. Like
No,
most of
but
the majority of the country's in the middle, and Bernie Sanders was
yeah,
like,
yeah.
"Screw you."
And that's one thing. You know what? Over the last couple of weeks, I had to come to the realization that America's just not ready to be progressive, even if it's what's best for them. People are just happy as long as 20 to 30% of the people live in poverty. People are okay with that. Like, hey, you can live in extreme poverty. You can, like, old people can, like, just die, wait, no medication. Like, we're okay with that. As long we're happy with 10% of the people owning all of the country. It's like that group in the middle is like, as long as my life is just balanced, I'm okay. But I think people fail. Me being a progressive, I think people fail to realize that so many people are thinking in the now that they're not thinking about the future. They're not thinking about their kids' future, because, like, it used to be every job had a pension, right? Now what is it, like
no,
20%?
every career had a pension, not every job.
No, pretty much it was like
Every career, Jesse, jobs don't have pensions. That's why they're jobs. Careers have
jobs did
pensions.
have pensions, dude. What are you talking
No,
about? People worked.
careers have
So people
pensions.
that work. So people that worked in factories. You saying
Those
that's
are
a career?
careers. Those were careers.
Why
Yes,
isn't it not
back
a
then,
job?
those
Why
were
is it not a
careers.
job?
Jobs are jobs.
People
Careers
worked
are
in the
careers.
same job. People worked in the same job for 50, 60 years.
That's a
People worked in their
career.
parent factories.
Yes, because that was
How are
because
you
back in the
separating jobs and
because
careers?
because Jesse,
You're talking
there
about
was a point.
semantics. What's the
No, no,
difference?
not semantics. You are comparing the industrial age with the technological age. And the industrial age, working at a factory actually required a skill. It was a career. That's what they
No,
were. They were
no, because a lot of nepotism went into it. Working in a factory meant you grew up in that town and you got a job because your parents worked there.
It was a
Let's
great
be
career.
real.
Once again, and they were great careers. They weren't jobs.
So
They
what's the
were
difference between a
a,
job and a career?
a career is something you get into and you stay in it for 40 or 30 or 40 years. You collect a pension. That's a career. A job is what you go do to learn a couple skills to move on to a career.
What? That sounds ridiculous. So people that worked at a job for 30 or 40 years, what is that?
Nobody actually works at a job for 30 or 40 years. That's their
But if
career.
they did,
That's the
but if
problem.
they
That's the
did,
difference. But you can't say, but if they did, when in reality,
no,
that's
I'm
what a
saying
career
people
is.
work 30 to 40 years in the same job without improving, without doing anything. You're saying at the end, if you got a pension, then it's called a career. If you didn't get a pension, it's called a job. That's what you're saying.
Well, because a job, okay. Let's just use you're gonna make me do it. Let's just use this. Let's just use working at Subway, right?
Yes.
You work the counter at Subway. That's your job. If you manage the Subway, that's your
What if you
career.
worked there 20 years?
Well, if you're the front desk person, if that's all you was a front desk person, then I guess you just really have a job. You're not getting a pension. It is what it is, right? If
What
you
if you're a
like,
manager at Subway and you don't have a pension?
you
Is
get a
that a job
salary,
or a
so
career?
you get a pension. You get
No, you think
it's a career.
Subway get a salary?
Yeah, they get a salary. Managers, when you become a manager, you get salary. That's what managers do. That's the advantage.
No,
It's
man,
literally
what
the
are you?
advantage of
Oh
getting
my
salary.
God, dude, you sound ridiculous, man.
Do
You
you not
you need to get
understand
out of
how
your
management
bubble.
works? Do you
Not
understand
all
how management
managers
works?
get a salary.
What managers don't get salary?
Plenty of managers don't get a salary.
The reason you become a manager and get a salary is so they can work you to death. It's so they can actually
Dude,
have you work more hours than you would normally work
what
when
white
you're
cloud are
hourly.
you working in, dude? Like, there's a lot of people that manage places that work hourly.
Who?
There's tons of jobs. You think the manager of McDonald's are all
Yes.
salary?
My daughter's a
None of them
manager at
are
McDonald's and
hourly.
she has a
So
salary. Yes.
anybody that's a manager has a salary.
If you run the restaurant, you have a salary. Yes. You don't work hourly. You look all
Dude,
confused.
because
They
you
don't
have no
punch a
clue what you're
clock.
talking about, dude.
No, Jesse, if you run the
You, s-
McDonald's, you don't work hourly. They don't go, I worked 8 hours today. You work 13 or
dude,
14 if it requires it. You get
managers at
paid the
my job
same
punch
exact amount of
hourly.
money.
People at my
Managers
job
don't.
punch
If
hourly.
you run them at your
How you gonna
job,
tell me, like, at my job?
okay, your job
What do
maybe,
people
I don't
do?
know. You're the manager, I'm
Right, so
assuming.
you don't know all jobs.
You're the manager of your position, right? You have people under you, I'm
No,
assuming.
I do computer IT. No,
So are you a manager?
no,
Do you have a department head?
yes.
Does your department head make hourly or salary?
My department head makes salary probably, but there's a lot of
It's a
managers in my
manager.
job that don't make salary and they work hourly
How do you know they work hourly?
because it's
Because they say I
posted.
make X amount of dollars an
No,
hour.
because it's posted. Everybody's job is
Yeah,
posted. I know
yeah.
who's
Just because,
salary and I know
okay,
who's hourly because of the union.
okay.
We know how it works.
In most places, when you're a manager, like I said, at McDonald's,
Most
if you run
places,
McDonald's, you are salary. You are salary. If you're a manager, you're salary. 99%
all right.
of the
Hey, man, we're
places,
going to have to wrap this up, man.
you are IT. You
We
work
went
for
over an
yourself.
hour. Hey, we're going to have to wrap this up for this week, man.
Yeah. You don't know what salary and hourly is. It's all good.
I'll have it for you next time we come on, man. But
Uh
hey, thanks for listening in. Thanks for messaging in.
Yeah,
Hey,
yeah.
next time we'll have to get people to call in,
Yeah. Oh,
or
and I
just
told
keep
you.
listening. Either way.
And I told
But,
you, a quick return means guilty. I told you that. They come back quick, it means guilty.
all right. Hey, we're gonna wrap it up for this week. Hey, I want everybody to have a happy, safe holidays. If you travel, if you stay at home, just enjoy your holidays, enjoy your family, enjoy your friends. Just have a great holiday. Have a safe time. And just have fun.
Thaw the
Enjoy
chicken
it.
thaw the turkey fully before you put it in the grease. If you're gonna do the deep fried turkey, make sure it is fully thawed. I don't care. Put that thing in the microwave for an hour and a half before you put it in that grease. Make sure
I've
that
never deep fried a turkey,
is
but
fully thawed.
hey, thank you guys for checking us out. Thank you guys for listening in. We
Right.
out.
We
Peace.
out. Deuces.